How could you not be ready for the Maharunn? Hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? I'm trying to get some gloves on because we're going to be doing more epoxy sculpt because fun. Yeah, so, hi guys. I hope you guys all had a fantastic weekend. It was Easter, which is, good. Also, today is the day of sale of chocolate. So if you haven't picked up your yearly supply of chocolate, do be sure to. So that, so you can get all that discount chocolate because nom 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 nom. Let me see here. Did I see anybody saying hi to me? No. Okay, we're good. Hi, Drago, Dave, Java, Suko. More T-Bone Tastes and Orchrist and Bob. Thank you all for hanging out already so early. I love you guys. I hope you're having a fantastic, fantastic day thus far. So I have to put I have to put gloves on both hands because, yay, eczema. I cannot, oh no, I have a pinky in here as well. I cannot really have this being mixed to my skin because, yay. Yeah, no. My skin hates everything. My skin hates life. My skin hates grass touching it. It's weird. You're having a muddy day. Muddy how? So I just took these out of the freezer, so I'm gonna let them thaw a little bit longer. You know what? I'm gonna put them right beside my hot tea. So maybe a hot tea will wave out to those things. Took a hike. So literal. Nice. Yeah, I walked 4.5 miles today. Going to my dentist and back. I finally decided that, yes, okay, so I'm settled in and I've moved in. I should probably visit a dentist. My husband wishes that I had completely forgotten about the fact of dentists and their existence because he's not really a big fan of dentistry. Which, that's okay, but I don't want him to have teeth rotting out, so dentists are a thing that he has to kind of put up with. So I was doing some work over the weekend on this guy because as you guys might remember, my in-laws are in, and they were doing a bunch of working stuff outside, and trying to get our smoker to work because with the damp air that's happened, our the whatchamacallit, the conveyor. The conveyor for the smoker is seized up. So they were working on getting it unseized all weekend. And which, it sucks. My husband was really hoping to be able to smoke some brisket and try out the Kansas City barbecue sauce that we got from Rainer. So, proper sad. You're back from your holiday. Well, welcome back. I'm proper phobic of the dentist. Yeah, my husband is super against the dentist. I can't say I like the dentist. That's really loud. Okay. I can't say that I really like the dentist, but I understand the necessity of them. That I will willingly put myself through the torture of dentistry in order for me to have, teeth that don't fall out on me. And it was really funny listening to them because they are like, oh, how long did you have did you have braces? How long did you have them for? I'm like, I've never had braces. Really? So I guess my teeth are just crazy straight. Even though I knew that, I just didn't really like people talking about it. But I think the trauma's kind of gone down a smidge. So I was trying to like fill in a lot of the gaps on this guy because, well, there's a lot of gaps, and yay for focus value. I need one that just yells at me saying, focus! But yeah, so I was doing that. I started with his back here. And because originally I was thinking, yeah, let's bring out this, let's use epoxy sculpt to fill in gaps and things like that. Realized that that's not really the best thing to use for it. But then I started building him a tail. Because one of my, for some reason in my head, Magnus, I thought had like a lion's tail. So he gets to have a lion's tail. So I sculpted over his his original little nubby tail, because he did have a small like tail that came to like to here. And I took it and clipped off the tip, drilled into it, and glued in this wire so that I can hopefully be able to create a lion's tail. And then this is I wrapped up. Aww. Well, hello, kitty kitties. Charlie and Lola. I remember cat names way better than I remember people names. But yeah, so just the tip. But yeah, so he's gonna have a lion's tail. Aww, kitty kitty kitty. So yeah, so when he stands, it'll touch the ground a little bit, but not too much. I'm just letting the epoxy sculpt thaw a little bit longer, because I've been leaving it in the freezer as per someone's instructions. But just gotta sand this down so it's not so much of a rough texture. I'm not too worried about, you know, some locations, just because I know that they're gonna get covered up. And I can always incorporate any added texture into the paintings, so it's all good that way. I don't feel any pressure at all with painting this guy, you know, like last Monday we went on, I think we hosted into Houndstooth, and he's like, yeah, I just finished up a Magnus, but like I was happy with him, but it's not gonna be anything compared to what Maharunn can do. I'm like, oh yeah, no pressure. No pressure. Okay, so we're just gonna go over this a little bit with... Hey, Canadian Painter! How's it going? Alright, see you, Orgrist. We're just cleaning up a little bit of my sanding of him. I'm not too like super concerned about certain areas, just because like armor is going to be covering it, so I'm not too. I just hate the gaps that happen when you're putting like 5 pieces together to get his hand, right? So And then once when the epoxy sculpt thaws, we'll be playing with that and making a tail. So what we'll probably do is like sculpt the main bone of it. So I'm wondering if I should have the tail come out like that. So like it'll just be on this side of him. Like he'll have that wing. And I don't think that this will affect anything. No, because that staff is like really high up. So it's not going to interact with that tail at all. So we're good there. Why is the all white gaps? Yeah, there was some, like, where you see a lot of white was some pretty severe cracks. And then a lot of it was just me being, you know, a little bit sloppy with my application of it. So it was just me trying to just even out some of the gaps. Just because gap lines really bother me, and I had nothing else really to do other than plant a bunch of succulents over the weekend. So I was perfectly okay with spending some time and, you know, filling in some of these gaps. It was the first time I've ever really built a model this complicated. So it's like gaps were to be expected, but since this is my one and only Magnus, I want him to be fantastic. Well, that's nice that you got to see Flick and Lexi. And little baby Squish. And the thing is like I can correct pretty much and add it into the texture if anything copies over from when I do the priming. So I'm not too concerned about it. Aww. Well, that's good. Yeah. I really liked hanging out with Lexi at TwitchCon. She's a lot of fun. Alright. Let's see if the epoxy sculpt has sufficiently thawed out. The only way to get better at certain things is for all the family. Yeah, that is true. The body was really like the only spot that I was really centered on fixing. Okay, yeah, no, this is still slightly frozen, so we're just going to peel out some. I hate the nipple horns. What? I'm guessing you didn't see my picture, Javasuko, of the legit nipple horns. Apparently even Slanesh would be horrified. Oh my god. I posted it up in stories, but it might have already disappeared by now. I attached with sticky tack. I attached his horns those horns right on top of the nipples without the breastplate. That made me really happy. Okay. Looks like that one. This one's, like, I don't know why, but this B part smells like peanut butter to me. It looks reasonably the right size. We're just gonna smush those, make them kiss. Yeah. After I mix this up, I'll bring it out if it's... Oh, right. He says that I was watching Bug King over the weekend, how he mixes this epoxy sculpt. I'm always super jealous of the people who can actually, you know, mix this without the gloves, because the gloves just... And he said even after you feel like there's no more lines in it, still keep going, just keep working it for a little while. And after we build up the wings, depending on how much of this we have left, we might make a base. And then probably move on to working Caladrax, painting him up. I cleared off the Lazy Susan, so I can actually paint him and be able to turn him reasonably on stream. I would say I'm about like a 6th done the bones. Not even. But yeah, I have like one side of his body, rib cage, sort of exactly where I want it to be. But yeah, Caladrax's. After Bug King's video tutorial, I did this for my first base with this stuff after I started working on this guy's tail, and I wanted to let this part dry before I keep working on it, so that what I had left over got turned into... It kind of reminds me more of waves than rocks, but, you know, for a first attempt, not bad. Not bad at all. So... now you let it sit for 2 minutes and ignore it, and where do I get Bug's videos? I think he has a YouTube that he will be posting these things up onto. But it's also, he should have his VODs just under the Bug King here on Instagram, or here on Twitch. How's his tail coming along? I'm just getting to it. I was doing a little bit of sanding. Now the question is do I want it to be a little, like, just... I'm using stiffer wire than the last time I tried to do any kind of armature. So I'm hoping that, because I'm hoping that this will hold the thing in a whole lot better. Then again, this is probably a whole lot more secure and solid than, whatchamacallit, Sculpey. So, but yeah, I might make try making another base, because I really need to up my sculpting skills in the future. And yeah, so it's It's kind of a boring base, and it doesn't really look all that great in my opinion. But for a first attempt at a base using this method of sculpting, not that bad. Sorry, or he said to leave it, like, let it sit for like 2 minutes, and 2 minutes to somebody ADD just feels like forever, especially since I don't have something else to work on. Yeah, this was with epoxy sculpt. No, like, I was working on it and I did feel good about it, and then right after I took the photo, it fell on the floor. So then I wasn't able to get it back to the direction that I liked it in, so it's just like, well, whatever. Kind of reminds me mostly of just like watery waves, but at least I took a pic beforehand. Yeah, I don't really have anyone to use these bases on. I'm just like, let's make some. Let's just make some bases. Why not? It hasn't been 2 minutes yet. I'm trying not to touch it. Trying not to. I'm being good-ish. Has it been 2 minutes now? But yeah, so I actually went through and I looked at all the extra pieces, and pretty much I'm gonna see how they look after I prime them to see if they need any extra stuff on them. What really annoyed me is I actually filled up this little gap here, because if you looked in that, like, from this direction, you could see the light on the other side of his hair, and I was like, ah! Gotta block that. So I'm gonna say it's been 2 minutes now. So really right now it's just trying to create this armature roughly all around the same size, so that, and I asked Bug King about like how one would make things in this kind of thing, just because it is tacky, especially like right off the bat. And I'm just going to do that with it just for right now, as we just block in over the wire, because that's all I really want right now, is to block that in. But he said like you can create the underside and then like let it sit and dry and then build on the details like on top of it. So that is likely going to be the case on how this guy gets done. It's just that when I think of Magnus in my head, every single time I think about Magnus, I see him with a lion's tail. I legitly thought he had one. And so when I was making him, my mind just kept saying, where's his tail, damn it? So he will legitly have a tail when he's done here. And unlike green stuff, I can smooth all this down with just some water. That was probably a bit too much water, but that's okay. I just wanted to smooth that transition in there. And then, you know, detail it up. Yeah, so it's kind of like, alright, yeah, I will make this the base for this lion's tail, make it as smooth as I can. And then from there, like, make it, like tomorrow, or like even next Monday, since Monday is kind of like my Magnus day. It's my one day I allow, like, I'm like, I don't care about what, I was about to put my hand in my actual drinking water for this. That's not a good one. It's my one day I allow myself in the week to work on basically Magnus, because it's Magnus Monday. And if I didn't do that, then who knows when I'd be working on Magnus, and I've been wanting Magnus forever, so yeah, I'm playing Magnus! And my Magnus! But that just means that I have to let his tail set. And then detailed up. As to, like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna, like, sculpt in any kind of, like, fur at the beginning, or, like, up on the, like, the actual, like, line there. Like, I am gonna have fur, obviously, on the tip, because the lion's tail is a little bit bushier. Just the tip. Boo, boo, boo. Okay, maybe not that bushy. At least not on the underside of it. And that's why I allowed that loop to exist on that side. Because I'm like, I want it to be a little bit, obviously a little bit wider here. And build up this part right here, because it felt like it got a bit too skinny. But I do want to make sure that there is a bit of a divot in there. And you know, this can all be like sanded down. Hey Pixel! How are you doing? Alright, yeah, I should refocus on him down there because I'm not able to really, like, keep him up. Or moreover, let's just bring that down further, yeah? Yeah. Yeah. Hope everyone had a good Easter. I finally planted my succulents. Just want to make sure that there is, in fact, like a little bit of a divot there. So this area is a bit too... Love the class. Oh, that's good. Okay, what I can apply to your in your pile of shame. Yeah, I'm still trying to... Like, I have... From Adepticon, I have these 3 goodie bags of various... miniatures that I picked up over the long while to figure out what I can try to throw at some from what I learned at Adepticon. But what you painted looked lovely. Okay, so due to that thickness down here, I'm wondering if I should I know, right, Jen? Yay! I'm still pretty limited on what I can use for transparent cloth, though. Like, I'm still haven't really found too many minis that I can really play with that on. Unless I just give everyone tights, but that's not really the what I want to practice. I want to practice, like, basically wet t-shirt parties. And we did get some chibis in the bones for, so those basically have become like another set of testers I can use for using, well, like trying to figure out this whole like contrast thing. I want to make sure it just has the right amount of thickness, and of course, like, we can sand it down once it dries out fully. But if I can avoid as much as I can. Like, I know I could have just went looking for some bits of, like, another tail. But I need to... not only do I need to, I want to get better at sculpting. So it's... So it's not just because I'm like, oh, I have to, and not pleased about it. No, I want to get better at it. But yeah, Bugs is a wizard and apparently is going to be trying to start, like, have a class for next year, which is going to be really, really cool. So if you want to learn from the master himself in person, you should definitely pay attention to next year's lineup for classes. Yeah, he's the reason my Arcana's base was where it was at, essentially. It's all because he took the time to make sure I knew what I was doing. Yeah, he definitely knows his stuff. And I feel so fortunate to have his help. Though he was gunning for me not to find Metamorphosis fire so that I would have to learn how to sculpt fire. Though I did find it, and he was relatively sad.
Are you willing to share, Day, or is this kind of like you'll see? Because that's more far ahead than I am. I don't know what I want to... Exactly which one I want to do. Okay, so yeah, the tail's not on the ground, so that's good. Super glue next year, yeah, I know, right? Like, honestly. I'd definitely take it. Even though I'm having, like, you know, I basically have him. I can get his advice whenever. It's like, not only do I want to support him, but also I'm very much wanting to learn more things. So... Also, it's crazy cool seeing, you know, our friends doing teaching. I don't know if I could ever do teaching. Because I'm like, there's nothing really that I am unique about, right? Like... Unless I develop some kind of awesome skill. / tactic. So, you know, I should work on developing my own tactic of if I ever wanted to teach, but, you know, that's kind of like anxiety overload right there. Like, oh god, all these people are looking at me and I hope I make sense, and oh god, don't call anyone a beginner. Okay. Alright. It looks silly. I'm still not at the right thickness everywhere. This part still needs a little bit more. I feel like this doesn't have enough. Trying to get a tube at the right thickness is like on a non-straight surface is a challenge, that's for sure. Especially since I have this bird skull here. We could always put like a spike at the end, like have some fur and then have like a spike. What do you guys think? Kind of like a manticore. Like a scorpion bulb. Okay, so I think all in all, not bad for a tail. That part is. The wire's a lot lower there. That's okay though. And it's getting a lot. It is drying out so that's always a good thing. Okay, he stands on that thing as it is right now. This is... I don't know if I'm actually going to have him keep stepping on this thing, because I don't really know what it is. I know I was told, but that doesn't mean I remember what it is. Alright, let's get a picture of said tail. Yeah, that even feels like a good length. I'm really happy with the full-on length of this tail. So that makes me very happy indeed. I'm just gonna hang out on top of his head there for a second. I still haven't really figured out what face I want to get. Nope, that got too big. So if we just do that. This is an itty bitty amount of water, that's all I want. Do I know exactly what I'm doing right now? Not particularly. I just thought it might be a bit interesting to have something on the top of his... on top of his tail here. I play with the pieces. Oh, shoot. Feel like it doesn't need to be that long, so we smudge it up a little bit. You know, this guy's not allowed to ever sleep on his back. I'm glad we all agree. the nipple horns are on a chest plate, though. So it's like he can take off that chest plate. Nipple handlers, another project. What? No, they don't, because look, he has little nips. Look at those little nips. He has man nips. He's a side sleeper, yeah, that's true. Fine, fine. His nips are... He doesn't have any kind of nipples. Because why does he need them? Pretty sure in the ritual he didn't say, give me nipple horns. Like... So... Sure he won't miss them if they're gone. Oh my god, can you imagine nipple antlers? That would be hilarious. There's a Kingdom Death mini that has a lot of, I don't really know about antler nipples, but there's a lot of dicks. It's like, all aboard the dick wagon! Seabass the Mighty! Hi! Hey, Sanjin! Did I hear do I? Yes! Yes, Sanjin, we're talking about Kingdom Death. How's it going, my friend? And of course, Seabass the Mighty, thank you so much for that host. Dick antlers. Yeah. How are you guys all doing today? Alright, so... Yeah, who knows how well that will turn out. Looks kind of silly, honestly. Oh, that is such a cute emote. Mr. Man Nipples here, yeah. It's just that whenever my mind thought about Magnus, because he's a model that I've been really wanting to paint for a while, I kept thinking he had a lion's tail. For some reason, in my brain, he had a lion's tail. And so when I started building him, I was like, where's the lion's tail? Because my brain was absolutely, completely convinced that there was a lion's tail that should be there. Ooh. Is he fighting something? What's he fighting? What's he numbing? I do recognize the tail. I thought that was... Isn't that the Dracon? But why is he... I don't think you can put... I don't think there is a section for 2 models, though. Unless you're not going to build the Dracon, in which case... Heresy! Which I do not have a GIF for, because I think that GIF is too funny and I never want it. Okay, so... Should I try sculpting in the fur now on this thing, or should I should let it set fully? Yeah, I should let that set. Yeah, I think that looks pretty nifty. We could always have like a spike coming in at the edge over here. No, we should not. Me being me, I don't know how to sculpt that enough. I should just let it dry. So that I don't screw up anything else. But yeah, so we have a tail on Magnus. And it's gonna, when it is, you know, more solid, we can sand it down a little bit so that we can make it a little bit smoother, and we can figure out where needs some touch-ups, even though I can see one already. So we're gonna touch that up. And it's right here. So we just add a little cap there. But sculpting really is not my forte, so this is pushing my limit of skills. But either way, I am pleased with the relative skill push in here. But hi Ash, how are you? Anyone else watch Game of Thrones? Alright. Lion Tail is as good as it's going to get for right now. Yep, watch episode 2 today. Yeah. It felt like a much needed episode. I was really happy with it. Alright, in terms of having a container to throw everything into, I no longer have that because I had to put the things that were in the Lazy Susan into that box, so Dungeons and Doggos, be done with you. Well, not really. Don't actually be gone. Just go over there. Tools. You know, even after a weekend, you would have thought that I would have done some cleaning. No. Yeah, there were many parts in there that I was just like, so happy. And I approve of this motion. Alright, so that goes in there. Random pieces. Oh yeah, here's his little tail nib. Legitly cut off the nib of his tail. Because I am a monster. Okay. Goes over there. Without Magnus. Well, I guess I can put Magnus in there as well, as long as he's there. Yeah, that's good. Ah. Okay, so I still have some sculpt or epoxy sculpt. So do I just use a stamp or should I try making an itty bitty little thing? No, I don't think I have enough for that big of the base. So let's. I wanna be a monster! Yeah. Oh, Pike. Okay. So then again, this might be a bit too small for this, but oh well. Okay, let's get the full coverage onto this base. Okay. I had some of these other tools out. Where are they? There they are. Okay, so we're just going to have Now skeletal poodle. Oh god. So I'm gonna put a depression right in there. I want a flatter surface right in there. That's my problem also, is that one side generally becomes a little bit more slanted. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Only problem is that it's still like really tacky, so I'm like, okay, so that is at least sort of smoothed out. I don't really want it to be that smooth, but so we're just going to push that down even more, and maybe it'll probably come off the edge of this. And then I'll probably actually, I don't really want it all to be shale though, so let's just bring that back down some. I just go, no I don't! Oh my god, this is not... I know how to make textured rocks. I don't know how to do anything, like, I don't know how to make something out of, like, you know, a bunny or anything like that. I just know rocks. No, I'm not liking how any of that's turning out. Rocks and trees and trees and rocks and rocks and trees and trees and rocks and rocks and trees and trees and rocks and rocks and trees and water in Canada, 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 Canada. Alright, blob. We have a blob, okay? Alright, I'm glad that we all agree that we can just keep the blob. I don't want to, since she's on this base, I don't want it attaching to the feathers or anything, so we're just going to bring that down. I just didn't want the rock to be the only thing on this base. Get off my thumb! The rabbit droppings. I'd be afraid if the rabbit droppings were gray. I'd be concerned for said bunny. Are you having fun plotting? Well, there's Bug King. Or, I guess me? Though I'm not a leading expert on it. But pouring resin was terrifying. I will tell you that plain and simple. Water pours are terrifying. Especially when they decide to go over the dam that you have created. Because that's never good. All right. So like sedimentary that it's just like, it's getting all over my fingers and I hate the feel of it. It's very grimy. I'm definitely gonna have to go and wash my hands after this, but that's okay because that means you guys get to see Bentley and he's adorable, so.
What, Lukey me boops?
Boops! Aye, how are you? How's it going? How be you? It was telling me you needed to announce it, oh? You just had to listen to it, huh? Okay, this is... So this is like, I could have sworn I ordered dentistry tools. I do not want to know what this would be used in dentistry.
And I say, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Studio. Dropship. Hi, Studio Dropship. Thank you so much for that raid. Hi. I said hey. What's going on? Hi. How's it going? Yeah, I know. My bot just doesn't listen to me when I say stay subbed. How's it going? Just Richard and Studio Dropship and Soulway Studios. Aww, hi, Batman. Numbers. Thank you so much for that follow. I hope you're having a fantastic day, my friend. We've given Magnus a tail. Moreover, right now we've kind of just left the letting the armature of it kind of set up. I met someone today that made you think of me. Was it me? But yeah, if I bring Magnus over here. Aww, day! Hi, Jen. Or Honored First. Hi. My babes. Hi, Busy Builder. Thanks, Day. Oh yeah, so I built Magnus the starting of a tail. Just gotta let it like fully cure so I can add fur onto the tip of this, because every single time I thought about Magnus, I always thought about him. I always thought he had a lion's tail. I was wrong. So I'd rather not be wrong. How was my Easter weekend? My Easter weekend was pretty good. I did stuff. Not really, but not a dragon. That's a Demon Prince Primarch. Yes. Yeah, no, he's getting a lion's tail, so kind of like a manticore. Not really manticore. What is it? I did stuff, but not really. My Easter weekend was good. How was yours, Honored First? But just don't put that horrible nipple armor on. But what's wrong with the nipple horns? I love the nipple horns. They make me so happy. Sorry, 1 second. No, I don't really want to do an Eldar one. How about little flagstones? How about that? Chimera, that's the word, yeah. So, I guess I could just leave it like that and be like, hey. The nipple horns make me happy. They are just so funny. They're just funny things. Like, just like, oh my god, like. They just make me laugh. Because they're hilarious. So, yeah, he's most definitely getting the nipple horns. I could have just put the nipple horns on without the armor. I definitely did not do that on the stream last time. But we're gonna be putting like a I love Sigmar or something like that on his chest plate, or not on his chest plate, but on his actual skin. So the armor is there to cover up the tattoo. Super repugnant. Oh, yeah, I understand that they're not everyone's favorite. They just make me giggle. I don't even know if I want to have that. I'm so conflicted. day. I'm conflicted. Fine. We're just gonna build a rock, okay? Alright.
And that's not acceptable. Yeah, no, I love him. He lives so happy.
No, it just, I don't know, like, every single time I see Magnus, I'm like, nipple horns. And, yeah, they make me happy. So, yeah, no, those are going to stay there. Though I am considering making it magnetized. What? Let's see here if I can find the photo, because I actually took a photo of this guy. When I was building him on Friday. Where's my picture of the nipple horns? Like the legit nipple horns. Oh, right. It wouldn't be Friday.
Aw, Daniela Darcy. Darcy?
Yeah, thank you so much for that follow. Aha, here it is.
Yeah, so we can see the shameful tattoo. Yeah. Yeah, there. This is my legit what I was thinking. This is like, yeah, boys.
And they just, yeah, as you can see, they make me giggle still. I just should print that image out just so I can always have it.
But yeah, so that we can maybe sculpt a third nipple horn.
In case we want to just be super embarrassing. Like, not only am I trying to cover up the shameful tattoo that I got when I was drunk one night, because apparently this ritual to turn him into a demon was not a drunk night decision. So...
It's Total Recall.
So I wanted to give him something that had like a third, like he was drunk, okay? Like, and I wanted him to have like an I heart my dad or something, like I heart dad, or whoever it is that would be like super shameful for I love the emperor or something like that. Because that would just be, I don't know.
Magnus did nothing wrong, right? What's the texture mat I have in the back?
This is from Happy
seppuku.com. You can see that writing. It's called Flake Zone. These are just like...
I'm sorry guys, I just threw my laundry! Yeah, they're really useful little texture pads. I just not really feeling like using it, although I have a bunch of them. I need to work on my sculpting skills despite the fact that I don't want to. Yeah, thank you, Ashcade Lane. So yeah, I need to just like look into a bit more of Magnus. See what would be a good one to have a super embarrassing tattoo. Like, what would he find super embarrassing that he would want to hide up with nipple horns, right? Like...
Leave him rest. Aw, Ash.
What would I hide with nipple horns? A really embarrassing tattoo, so that people will question me about the nipple horns, and thus they will not think about the fact that I might have a hidden tattoo. That's to be like, they'd be like, why nipple horns? Instead of being like, well, what's under there? Like, what? Unless you see the nipple horns and be like, you're clearly hiding something, Magnus. No, I'm not. You're hiding something. Magnus, I'm not the one with nipple horns, alright? Dude, seriously, who is your designer? I don't know. I was made this way! I'm sorry, I don't think your ritual technically came with the fact that you have to wear nipple horn armor. So really, Magnus.
Mole with hair on it. I think that's nipple horn worthy.
Maybe he's an outie, not an innie for belly buttons, and he's just really self-conscious about it.
Your ear's nearly healed.
Woo! Funny enough, I had to take out my piercings, all my piercings today. In my ears and face and things like that. So that I could get the, full 3D scan of my teeth, the dentistry. It was just, that was the first time I've ever taken out my bar since I got it, and so that felt really weird having it out. This is a little insecure on the inside. Yeah, I know. Like, you look at it, it's just like, you're compensating for something. I'm sorry, bud. Whatever it is, I'm sure you didn't mean to actually kill that village filled with, you know, children.
I don't know what I'm doing. What am I using to model the base? This is epoxy sculpt.
Or what, you know, what Day wrote in. It's basically just leftover stuff that I was using from making Magnus's tail. But because it takes a while to cure, that I'm just kind of playing around. Though it looks terrible, and I'm sorry that it's so bad. I just kind of want to stab it. Mine always feels a whole lot tackier than Bug King's. Like, I don't really know why, but mine just seems to, like, stick a whole lot more, but maybe Bug King is, like, just doing stuff to his tools that I'm not seeing. Like, he might be watering them more often than I would think.
I'm using water on my stamps. Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Except that I don't want asbestos, thanks. How are you doing, model? How be you? I actually have, like, coconut oil. Which is generally used for my green stuff. But I'm actually using just mainly water for... And that's what always happens, is that I'll like start detailing a lot and be like getting happy with it, and then I'll lose my grip of it, and there it goes. But we'll bring out Caladrax in just a moment to work on painting him.
Alright, Magnus the Red, yeah. Time to try frozen grapes.
Cool. As in, like, ice wine?
Yeah, no, I was working on him a little bit earlier.
Shit! When did that happen? Fuck nuts. Fuck. Literal frozen grapes. Okay. Okay, well, here's to hoping that it's, you know, stays good to go. But yeah, we're giving him a lion's tail. Shit, I keep nudging it. And this is why I'm not really allowed to sculpt things, is because I forget that there's wibbly things that are... What about the titty spikes? Those are on his armor. We were discussing earlier about what would Magnus have to have on his chest that would lead him to have nipple horns. Nipple-horned armor to distract you from it. So we were trying to figure out like what kind of embarrassing tattoo to put there. Okay. Now we're gonna be nice with those spikes. Nose oil? I don't want to know what that is. They're saying that. Yeah, people say that. I'm of the impression that he decided that he was going to have nipple horn armor to detract any kind of possible information about his rather embarrassing tattoo. Well, I'm sure Skiggy will be happy to get it back. I'm not about to use my nose. Snot. I'm not about to start picking my nose with my tools, thanks. That just sounds painful. There we go. So we'll just put that out over there. This turned out alright. You know, first attempt. Hey, Fulgrim! The second one. No idea what I'm going to be putting on these bases. I just thought it would be kind of fun too. To start building some of my own. Or at least attempting to learn how to do this. A whole lot of space now. I read that as there is a whole lot of space in there. Okay, I need to go wash my hands, put the epoxy sculpt back in the freezer. I will be right back. So enjoy Bentley.
I guess I can change this over to saying Calajax. No, I don't want that. Okay. Okay. Alright, here, Maha. Do you see a Maha, though? That's the question. Okay. Let's see here. Let's just try to see if we can get the camera situated so that we can actually see what I am painting on. So this is Caladrax, and this is why I have to, this is why I need my lazy Susan. This so that I can actually, like, reasonably turn him around without always having to lift him up. So sculpting tools can go to the wayside since we don't need those right now. They can go off to the side there. Here's my paints that I need. I was working on him upstairs, and that's why he has a little bit more done on him. Just a little bit, but enough to make it worth it. Okay, so we're just going to get rid of some of this extra moisture that is not necessary. Oh yeah, so this is a giant bone dragon from Reaper Miniatures. And he's a big guy, he's a biggin. But my husband has kind of stated that I'm not allowed, even though I can totally absolutely do it, not allowed to move on and paint any of my bones 4 until I get this guy reasonably painted, because this happens to be one of his favorite models. So I have his giant tail also. Alright, on that side of me, so that's why I was saying, like, I feel like I have a 1/6 of him done. Because I still have his wings to do, and the other half of his rib cage. Oh yeah, and also in his mentality, it also means that I can get it off my desk. Which means that I don't have to, I can put more things there, because this guy does take up, he took about about a good quarter of of my desk space on where I keep miniatures. So yeah, no, it does give me a good reason to. And I don't let man, because I know, but I do need to paint him anyways, and I basically got free permission to repurchase my bone markup paints because of this guy. So I don't mind being able to, like, you know, get my, because I use like 3 specific colors for bone marking, like doing my bone, unless I'm doing something very specific with it. And thus it's just like this guy in himself is probably going to use up a good amount of that paint.
So I actually used purple inside some of these, inside the joint areas, to kind of help just deepen it down some. And then you go over it with a brown so that it's still there and it's still shadowy. It's just not, it's just deeper. And this is why also having a bent brush is very handy. But also, like, you know, I want to paint Argent, but I don't really actually have that much. I don't have space to put him on this desk. So by painting this guy, that means I have space to build and paint Argent. But then again, Argent's probably not going to be sitting on my desk for very long because he's going to get done, because Argent is a beautiful, beautiful dragon that is going to be utterly fantastic and very metallic, because he's going to be my platinum dragon. So I am going to paint him up like I painted that platinum dragon egg. But I actually remembered to put the humidifier on in my studio here, so my paints actually don't dry out too fast right now, which is good. Because on Friday my paints were actually drying out too fast. Even my scale paints, like that's how dry it was. And that was completely unfun. So I don't like it if my paints dry out too fast. Wet palettes only go so far in California.
We'll use another piece of thin wire. The wire begins to glow. Once again, the wire glows, but quickly burns up.
And bent brushes are my friend, especially when he's like, when this big boy is so much built up that, or like he's essentially all put together except for his tail. I was not necessarily the smartest person when I gave my husband the go-ahead to put it all together. I was like, yeah, no, that would be super handy. And then I tried to also, I tried to airbrush him, and that's the color that you're seeing right now. My airbrush is more like a water hose than it is a fine-tuned instrument. So it didn't take to trying to do detailing work very well. So a new thing I'm doing with this markup is actually using a soft tone wash, but also using Thar Brown for this gray tone. Like, I'm using a little bit of Moonray Flesh
for a whiter, but it's kind of a creamier look nonetheless. And I don't want the bones to look that water hose. That's what it feels like. Because I don't want it to be too rich, so I'm using that Thar Brown to give it a little bit of a gray white in a lot of instances, but it's also, I just want this to look old, but not like, oh, I've been in a crypt for so long. It's just like, no, these bones have been picked clean, but they haven't been bleached out in the sun. So they get a little bit yellow, and their shade marks are like, it's not, they're not clean, but they're darker in instances, and I'm also not making it super smooth, so it has a chance to be, you know, a little bit messy. It's almost like cell shading, maybe. I'm not super wet blending. Just enough that of a wet blend that my humidifier has allowed my paints to let me do. It's all dependent on my paint. But that humidifier has been on for like 2-3 hours in here, so I feel like doing these top ones, and I say, hey, hey. It's a good day. Get to hear this one a few times. What's going on? And I say, hey. Hello, Chris. Hi. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day, my friends. I hope you had a good stream, Chris. Welcome, everyone coming on in with Chris Frossen. What's going on? I know, right? Such a good song. I always love the comments. It's like, oh, I'm on the weird side of YouTube again when you find yourself at that song, but I always consider it to be a good day. Hi. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty good. I did my walk this morning, and it ended up being like 4 and a bit miles because I decided that I was going to walk to my dentist appointment instead of like drive or Uber or what have you. I'm like, it's only like 2 miles away. I can walk a mile in 18 minutes at my, you know, my regular pace. So I'm actually like super wide awake, which is pretty great. So it didn't like super knock me out. Just to say you walked 1,000 miles to your dentist! Yeah, I haven't gone to my dentist, or I haven't gone to a dentist in
I was supposed to have an appointment in December, but that was like right after we had moved and we still hadn't like fully settled in yet. So I kind of pushed it off, but then like some of my teeth were beginning to feel a little bit sore, and I was like, okay, I need to find myself a dentist. Yeah. I have a lot of lovely followers. Aww. It's always nice when followers treat you nice. Makes you feel all special and good inside. What were you working on today, Chris? I also just love being able to live in a place where I have the ability to walk to everything that I need. Like, oh, I need to get this particular meat for dinner that I'm thinking of having or making tonight. Hey, look, I can just walk, 20 minutes and get my groceries that way. Or, oh, I just so happen to be, I didn't realize I was out of spinach and I need spinach for my lunches and my sandwiches. I can just go to that grocery store right there, and it's so nice. I like walking. Ooh. Oh, in a certain horrible color scheme. Oh. I have not. I'm wondering if I should ever try to do that. Like, challenge me to paint something in a color scheme. I think that would be just, I don't know. Alright, I'll be right there, Day. You guys are willing to watch just Bentley for the next, like, many hours? Howling Griffins, red and yellow quarters. I'm sure my Magnus is going to cause enough issues with people. See, that's the thing. I know too well with colors that it's just like... I would pick those 4 colors and have matching going on really well. Because, yay, color theory. 4 colors or 4 paints? Because that's the difference. Apparently, Tam's under the impression that all of Bones 4 needs to get painted. Well, technically, black and white are not colors. They're shadows and shades. I will fight you on that one. Technically. Four paints randomly chose. Oh god. That sounds dangerous. Ain't a challenge if it isn't hard. I never said it wouldn't be hard. I'm saying that that's dangerous. want that purpley tone in this. I had to give you pink. Oh, you're evil. No, I would be expecting you guys to say the pink is pink. Except on camera, it shows up as white, so that would be a really hard thing to take a photo of. Though I saw the Dayray showed me the new Slanesh models, and I was like, be right back, going Slanesh. Oh, Jesus. Hey, Till! How are you doing? Okay, but I'll need help getting a model, guys. You're gonna make me brutalize it. Well, it wouldn't be brutalizing, but honestly, pink! Pink is pink! First of all, I'd have to figure out how to... I'd have to work with it again so I can get the gel, or like the medium to work with it. I am doing pretty good. I was building Magnus a tail earlier, and now I am working on this very, very large bone dragon. Named Caladrax from Reaper. He is a biggin. To the point where I actually have a Lazy Susan to bought specifically so I could actually paint this guy without too much hassle. Because it's a hassle to try and paint him without the Lazy Susan. As you guys saw on Friday. Of course, like, the underside gets to be... It will get painted. We're just working on what we can actually... What we can actually reach on the upper terrace here of bone. And then we'll be moving on. On and down in the body. Just not everywhere's. Not so many minis, yeah. I do exercise I do have to do wrist exercises, but I hurt my wrist over the weekend. So anything to make it so I can actually still stream and talk to you guys. I get your mind out of the gutter there. Make him a purple kneecap, which, you know, I'm sure would be very painful. I know, so does mine. Yeah, I see, like, when I use the flesh color, the Moonray flesh, it just becomes yellowy, or pinky. I said yellow because... So I airbrushed that paint over top of it. It didn't really like it. It didn't really like that airbrushing, so it had to be relatively careful about not oversaturating the paint when I'm working on it. It's not that cozy in the gutter. I'm pretty sure it'll be cozier outside where it's, you know, dry and stuff. Oh, and I got my husband sort of addicted to playing Stardew Valley with me. He got the co-op, or moreover, he bought Stardew Valley for his Switch. So we've been playing it. Definitely has its bugs, but it's still utterly charming. Okay. So this side looks a little bit yellower compared to this because this part actually has the washes done on it, whereas this part doesn't. So I might just leave the leg alone a little bit, though this is still a bit too purple for my liking, so. The temptress of men. My husband would probably agree with that. Because we want to get rid of that purple. Like, we want that purple as an undertone, but we don't want it to... We don't want it to be the only color there. But we're using it to kind of like say like, hey, they're super, super deep. Women too. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're using the purple basically as like deep shadow. So the good news is because I've been strengthening my wrist muscles with like weights and whatnot, it's been a very long time since I've had to use my wrist braces. But because I haven't needed it, I have lost where my metal wrist braces, and thus I haven't been able to find it for my own hand now that my wrist is back to hurting. So we're just getting some whiter But yeah. Well, the dentist was really, really nice, and it was really funny because here in the States, people seem to have this giant beef against fluoride. So whenever the dentist starts to try to, like, almost like try to, like, convince me to, like, the fluoride's very useful for, like, fixing your teeth and, like, strengthening them back up again, and, you know, like, acting as if, like, I'm about to put up a giant fight about it. It's just like, miss, doctor, I'm Canadian. I'm very much used to the concept of fluoride and actually know, like, the usefulness of fluoride. You don't need to convince me. I will take the fluoride stuff, please and thank you. Because I believe in Canada, unless they've changed it recently, we have fluoride in our water. Yeah, she was very shocked at, like, my whole, like, just like, no, like, yeah, no, just, you don't need to convince me. I know that fluoride is good. Just give me the fluoride, okay? Okay, I'm glad that we all agree here. Because apparently, like, I have a bunch of teeth that are on, essentially on watch to, make sure that they don't. That thing is huge. Yeah, he is, Luminous.
I think you use your power for evil, selfish purpose. Selfish, yes. Only sentimentality is evil. I think otherwise.
Yeah, he's a big one. You have the teeth that might be runners. Yeah, they're a little bit weak in certain areas, and in order to stop them from, you know, getting worse, they have them on watch, and I now have a special, like, not super fluoride, but like a fluoride prescription toothpaste, just to kind of help. But yeah, Angie, like, this is the biggest guy I've had to paint. Literally has to have a lazy Susan to turn him, to get all the angles. Send the bail bonds after them, yeah. Now my teeth are weaker, and so I'm perfectly fine with taking fluoride toothpaste. It's just like, yeah, I'm used to this. Like, I hate it, but I understand that this is something that's good for my teeth. Shoot, I need to stop fiddling. Doesn't even fit under the camera. No, he really doesn't. He tries. On some instances, he does try. But we're not body shaping Caladrax, okay? He's just big boned. Sorry. He is a good boy. Not even a groan. I gotta get better at my jokes. How are you doing, NG? Yay! More painting! Alright, Caladrax, can you lift your leg up for me, please? That's not gonna make that any easier. These crazy kooks were talking about challenging me to painting something with only 4 paints. I think they're kind of crazy. Blacklight? Oh god. Just trying to get some brown over these skelly bones. So much shade you can't see it. Oh yeah, the shade color. So pink is pink, black is black. Alright, mister. I just want to be able to get in under here. I haven't done the wings for a reason. So I can actually literally do this, but... I'm not too concerned about actually, like, painting the inside of these, bones because they are in the shadows, so... Only giving them a little bit of, like, highlighting. The green is green. Alright, see you, Canadian painter. Thank you for hanging out. Why do you not want to give me any pigment? Literally has that ball hanging out in there. You know, I still have to figure out how to mix even these, like, these powder pigments. Because I haven't figured it out yet. So I apparently have the medium for figuring it out. I just need to sit there and figure it out, like actually figure it out. And this is just so that I can have like super shadow. And we're just going to like piece that into there. Yes, I did, Tiny Tusk. The Archivist came back. That was... I jumped on that so fast. I saw the other ones. They didn't really... Like, they're interesting, but once when I saw the Archivist, I was just like, done. So I got me an Archivist. Was she the Death High? Or which one was she? Oh, okay, yeah. They were interesting. They were interesting. They're just, you know, that's... not really my thing, and I don't... I know! I was so fucking happy! I saw, like, I scrolled down, I was like, okay, these are interesting. Nothing that's really, like, shouting at me. Because they're interesting to look at, but nothing really I want. And then I saw the Archivist, I was like, done! In! Give! Because I literally, every single time someone was saying, like, you know, mention that they're selling like, some of their Kingdom Death, I would always whisper them and be like, hey, do you have an Archivist? And there, it would either always be no, or I'm not selling that one. Just like, but I don't want it! I know, Athena. So, getting that order, and like, my husband just calls me like right afterwards. I'm like, so I bought a Kingdom Death model. And he's like, but why? I thought you weren't buying any more of those. I'm like, I know, but it was the Archivist. So, it's pretty much the only Kingdom Death model that I really, really wanted that I still didn't have. So, I'm very, very happy that I finally have. I finally have it. It's gonna be so pretty. Yeah, you always know when you always know when you need a new one. Mine is when either I'm beginning to smell a funk in it, or the paper begins to actually disintegrate because it's been wet for so long. So I'm being really rough with my bone coloring. I just don't want it to look like, super, super clean. I think I'm getting there with the look. And then we wash over it with soft tone to kind of warm it back up again a bit, because right now it looks like it looks a bit red, because not only is the brown that I'm using a lot sort of a redder based with the purple underside. Yes, I get this. Knocking over all the models, Caladrax. That's what you're doing, bud. Guess I should probably paint the front foot here as well. But I hope everyone enjoyed watching, everyone who did, I hope everyone enjoyed watching Game of Thrones. I really love that episode. I'm gonna let that purple dry a bit. Okay, so either we work on the other side now of his rib cage here, or we work on his tail. I think we should probably finish working on the body. Okay, that goes there. Okay. Let's get the big boy back onto his rock. Okay. It's Alright, let's just tuck this further back in. And no, I want it to be I was gonna say, Calajack, stop fighting me! Fan theories are always very interesting. Alright, you have a wonderful, wonderful night. Ooh. Looks like it got damp underneath my ring. But yeah, the wings are probably going to be the last thing too. To be painted up. Well, last thing on the bones to get painted up. Oh yeah. There's kind of Alright, more exposure, or not exposure, but focus. Focus! I'm trying. I don't know how much I'll be able to keep going today, mainly because my wrists are sore-ish, and it hasn't gone too bad right now. But I'm kind of worried about it getting bad. Because I was in a pretty decent amount of pain last night because I couldn't find the proper brace for my wrists. Not to mention, it is, you know, a little tiring painting bone all, like, continuously. But I would like to get him off my desk. So I know that this is not where darkness is going to be. This is where green is going to be. I just want to make sure that I have the right kind of shadowing underneath. Much too dark, Mr. Calidrax. So we did. Why is the dragon covered in barbecue sauce? Because barbecue sauce. Hey Rob, how you doing? Ooh, breakfast. Yeah, he might be my permanent upstairs project because, like, he's an awkward boy. I gotta baste him somehow. Gotta get those flavors into these bones.
Welcome to Flavor Town.
Population flavor. I don't know. My paint your dragon ribs. Yeah, this dragon's ribs it's getting there. Well, it's painted on one side. And we got the ribbing done for Magnus's tail. Oh, I'm happy with that. Hey, Crimson. Yeah, I tried airbrushing him. It didn't really work out, mainly because I don't have a very fine airbrush. So it was just like, I'm gonna add a bit of color, and that color is now everywhere. How's Crimson doing? Got lots of painted. Oh yeah. Let's get some more of this out. Sadly, a lot of what's left of him to paint requires him to be on his side. So I'm just trying to get this face in the right direction.
Stumbles and flop. Hi.
What were you working on? Both of you, Crimson and Rob. Teddy bear guardsman. Aww. Well, doesn't that just sound super cute? Dog meat. Oh, was it a teddy bear? I thought it was an Ewok. So I might be getting an 3D printer sooner than later. Which would be awesome because then I can make Maharunn's marvelous miniatures. Oh, a heavily customized Womble, nice. Yeah, I sort of want to do some kit, start working again on my kit bashing of the Celestant Prime. Oh, why am I yawning now? And I'm thinking of asking a few people to see if they have any other, like, high recommendations for Reaper paint. Because there was one color of paint that I wasn't able to get at at Adepticon. And apparently it's like a super awesome dark purple. So I'm thinking of ordering some, but I'm wondering if I should like also see about if they have anything other colors that I should probably pick up. I have not tried their metallics. I do not own any of their metallics. Though really I'm thinking of more like, ooh, pastel sounds like a great one. Yeah, I don't really have much in the way of pastels. They're clear paints? I could copy that number down. Copy. Go over here. Paste. Hellos. Ew. I know. Yeah. I've bought a few from. I've bought things from Reaper in the past. Yeah, it's just that there's, you know, I have some of their paints already, and some of them I deem as like I'm never going to replace, like my Gory Red from the Reaper line.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the diner was really good.
Yeah, I gave Flick the ones that I got in my VIG bag because he wanted to pick up some more. And it wasn't particularly a color I was very interested in, but I wanted to get I think it's called like Nightshade Purple. It's 09022 or 20922, one of those. I really wanted to get one of those, but they were sold out at Adepticon, so I didn't get to get it. That I can believe. This isn't really the full base color that I want here. Like, this is not the green that I'm really wanting, but it's a good green for putting other greens on top of. It's my go-to green most times. Yeah, like I have a few of their paints from the various goodie bags that I've gotten, like from Christmas and Halloween, and a few of the breast cancer pinks. Sorry, I'm just trying to get into these really itty bitty awkward locales. Of course, I'm knocking over everything. Go figure, right? There we go. We're just gonna stick that over there so we can just keep spinning this guy around. But it looks, you're able to just see the bone a whole lot easier when the green is there instead of how it is on the other side. So speaking of which, we're gonna just bring that up here. But this way we could like...
But hi!
I'm so late, cause work, but he.
Hey, Box Explosion! Thank you so much for 3 months, man! I really do appreciate the support and the love. How are you doing? I hope work was good. I know my title says Magnus, and we were working on him earlier. Work is good, but long, yeah. Okay, so full green there. Retake a look at Magnus's tail. Just tuck you back there. Yeah, so Magnus is getting a lion's tail. Camera, let me in here. And so it's still, you know, it's still pliable. But it is getting stiffer, so that makes me really happy. We're basically getting this done, sand it all down, and then start building in some fur. But just trying to get that shape completely in there. Yeah, I'm quite happy with it. Slowly but surely, right? Yes, it was Rob Jedi. It was a tail. For some reason, every single time I think of Magnus, I always envisioned him with like a lion tail. So I was very confused as to why he didn't have a lion's tail when I was building him. So I'm building him one. Dog. And he's a birdie. Yeah, but so are kind of like, griffins. And, manicores? No. I should give him a dog collar? No. I don't know. I don't know why my brain said that he has a lion's tail. But I really want him to have one, and I kind of want to work on my sculpting skills. And yeah, he's my Magnus. And if I'm not going to do that on my own Magnus, then when am I going to get a chance to do it myself, right? Bug King was a bit disappointed that I found the fire for, what's his butt? I found the fire for Metamorphosis. So I don't have to sculpt fire now. And he's like, oh, I wanted to see you, like, practice your sculpting. So... because I need to get better at sculpting things anyways, so... And also at the concept of don't sculpt everything all at once, right? Like, no, build up the base, and then when that's dry, then build on the details. I wonder if I should, again, have a poll of the various creature casters that I have to paint up for next year's Resin Beast. If I should have a poll again. I don't know, it just feels like it's a whole lot fuller now that, like, you know, just kind of like cleaning up the lines. Like this side alone, like he just looks a lot more complete than... Ooh, did you see anything you liked? Ah. Yeah. They are fantastic. Okay. Hints items. Hi, Dragon Face. have deals sometimes. But yeah, I can't even imagine how much it would cost to get shipped to Australia. What happened to the first purple D20? Don't tell me you actually got the dice jail that, you know, ate the dice. How long do you keep a die in the dice jail for, I wonder? Like, how long is that crime? Oh, right, okay. Ah, Flying Monkey Paints! How are you doing? Or the cat smacked it? Well, it might be. Another thing my cats are not really all that interested in. How's Monkey doing today? How was your weekend, my friend? Because I was not smart enough, and this guy was constructed like a year ago. To which I said to my husband, yeah, that's fine. You can attach the wings. Actually, it would have been more than a year ago, like a year and a half ago now. He was one of the first ones we got. So, I'm living with that mistake. And I say, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? Hello, hello, Artsy Jim. How's it going? Hi. How are you doing? How was your stream? I'm doing alright. I'm struggling with Calidrax, but it's going alright. Just kind of blocking in the green where we can. Just to kind of help make the bone color stand out against other material, I guess. It helps make the other side look a whole lot more complete. Oh, thank you. So this side is not really all that done. Just bass tones on it. Yeah, I have to feel like this music works. Aw, no more tanks. Nope, no tanks. Just like no capes, no tanks. Just giant, giant dragons. It's alright. But yeah, so this is the bone side that has been worked on. The wings have not, just because of how he's situated. Okay, come on. Let's get your foot back into the... But he's still like sort of slanted. So he might not actually get to be on his base while I paint him. It's bad I don't have anything that can just like hoist him up like that. He's a big boy. He is fun. He's also extraordinarily a pain in the butt. Here, I'm just going to like quickly get that green shiznix. There we go. Get rid of that. Just trying to get this green in. It just really helps just separate the bone out from his leftover sinew. Oh yeah, no, his wings are off. I actually, today is normally my Magnus Mondays, or Magnus's Maddening Mondays with Maharunn, but his tail is being constructed right now, and thus needs time to fully cure. How long have I been working on this for? Technically only 3 days as of late, but I've had him for like a year and a half, and I've been trying to work on him on and off, but my bone markup keeps changing. So he keeps adapting with it, and thus it's he keeps getting repainted. But that's okay. Because this time I'll finish him for good, and then I won't have to keep reworking the bone. Oh, thank you, Artsy Gem. You have a good one. You have a good sleep. Thanks for the raid. And brushes rule. Allow me to get into all the nooks and crannies. Nah, come on. I know. You really, now you feel like hanging out on the rock. Too bad. Don't hang out on the rock. Ah, camera shaking everywhere. I'm sorry. He's doing yoga stretches. It's what keeps him looking so young. Okay. And we'll just flip him around back over here. It's just that I may as well do this so I get most of this green in here. It'll get probably touched up with the touched over on the with the bone color, but that's not so bad. Just imagine trying to paint this guy without the Lazy Susan turntable thing. To which I say, no thank you. He's just a biggin', so painting him takes... Painting any part of him just takes a long time. It's wherever you put it last. Silver Hedgehog, hi, how are you? I am doing well. Just working on a giant F-off dragon. So I can actually get this, you know, working on the bones that I want to work on. But my husband has requested that this guy get done first. And I was like, okay, fine. Not looking forward to it. Oh, I paint a lot of dragons. But he's not... I don't really know if he's considered to be bigger. If he's bigger than Maldrakar. Like... Because Maldrakar was a beast to work on. Telling him to hold still. Got his chin in my hand. Yeah, he is a really, really cool dragon. I've owned this sculpt for a very long time. So it's about time that I actually, paint him. And I'm mostly done on the other side for his rib, at least in terms of his rib cage. I'm happy, but I still have to do his wings on the other side. Thinking he's probably, like, no correlation as to why I'm actually painting the sinew green, but I actually feel like looking at him now, he probably was a green dragon. But I had Bones 4 Kickstarter stuff arrive on Thursday. So I really want to paint those. But husband says that I should finish this guy first. He claims it's to get, clear up space on my table, but I don't know, the BS smells strong from him. Though he does say it's not, I know it's not the best sculpt, but it's his favorite. So, I guess I should finish my husband's favorite model. Is he currently DMing a game? No. Yeah. Yeah, get that whole money thing. Seems like quite a hassle sometimes. Though I might be able to get a 3D printer. So I might be able to start printing out my own minis. Which I think would be a good. I know, right? Didn't stop me from buying that archivist. Nobody would have gotten in my way for buying that archivist. That's apparently illegal. Apparently. I've been told that they don't like it, and they kind of remember you after that. Apparently this world is no Skyrim. Or moreover, is no Elder Scrolls. But then it wouldn't, well, yeah, that's true. Then that's just them giving it away. Okay, so I am happy with how the bone looks on this side. So if we can just repeat it. So I don't want to start on the wings, just because of how much I'm having to crimp it down. Though I am kind of wondering about, I should probably just put the wash on the other side and call it a day, just so that I can start getting my shoulder to rest. Shake lightly. Okay, so strong tone and Agrax, they both make it feel like they both make everything look dirty instead of, you know, instead of just a tint, it just makes it look. Oh, NG, I'm sorry. I know, Caldrax. You want to go and play over there, don't you? I guess I should put the rock back under him. Mystic! Hi! How are you? Rock. Rock. Okay, that one goes there. And this foot goes in there. Okay. I've never really used Games Workshop paints. I don't like their paint pots, nor do I want to spend the time decanting. So those are a big no for me. But the people who do like them, that's fine. They're just not for me. I live in sunny California, where most paints dry, all paints essentially dry fast for me. Wet palettes are not, they don't keep my paints wet, they just keep them lasting, you know, longer. Ooh. Yeah, yeah, I am a large advocate for that mentality. Those paint pots, every single time you open them, you're exposing all that paint surface to air every single time. And they don't seal nearly as well as they used to. So the paints just dry up, and I'd rather not have that happen to any of my paints. So I only buy paints that have dropper bottles, and even then I go off of testing and seeing how long it takes for them to dry on me, even on a wet palette, and how easy those paints are to wake up on a wet palette. So far, I really like Scale 75 and Monument paints. Though Monument paints do dry out, do dry really fast, but they're easily wake upable on the paint palette. So at least I have that. Wonder if I should add like a green wash onto these bone areas to kind of tie into the skin color some. Or I guess sinew color. There we go. So now that is all going to be roughly the same tone. Oh, I didn't do the face. Should do the face. And I don't like how you have to wash your paintbrush essentially after every single time you go into dip paint. It's just like, no, just let me squeegee out the amount that I want. Though I have been tempted to pick up like a few of the paints, like one of each written type, like a layer versus a base, just so I can get a feel for how they apply. Because I am only going off of what I've heard other people say. Alright. So that's all dry or drying. So I'm gonna stop there because my shoulder is beginning to equally hurt. So then let's swap this on over here. In there, and let's go figure out who we are going to send you guys off onto. Take a look at the colors and get something close to those. Yeah, that's... Well, I could always help. I just don't know what those paints were called. So... Or like what they look like when they dry. I can always try to help. Either way. Let's see here. Canadian Painter is on. Yeah. Well, we rated him last week. So is there anybody else on that I have already here that we haven't rated in a long time? Well, Keelam is not, yeah, let's just go to Canadian Painter. Yep, sorry, Fox Dog. So, yeah, if you haven't already, do be sure to hit that follow button so that I can see you guys again next time, because I love you all so very much. And of course, I am on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I have my own Discord if you are so inclined to join in. I'd love to have you guys. It's so great having you all around, and I really do appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out and supporting me while I do Magnus's tail. And, fiddling around with Caladrax. I think Caladrax is just going to become my permanent upstairs thing, just because it's really difficult to stream. Unless you guys really want to see me keep working on him. And then I'll try. Either way, thank you so much for all the raids, the love, the raids, the subs, the follows. Super. You guys are super. Have a good evening, guys, and I will be seeing you guys hopefully